Hello and welcome to ACCG. Today, we're going to be talking about a little bit of Duraludon and Arceus. Now, why are we going to be talking about a deck that seems old? Well, in this meta, we're dealing with a lot of Lugia and a lot of special energy acceleration. So, what Pokemon is a wall towards special energy? Duraludon. And who accelerates basic energy? Arceus. And what stadium nerfs all special energy? Temple of Sinnoh. So let's go ahead and take a look at this deck and why it's going to be an answer to the meta. Alright, so here we have our Arceus and Duraludon build. So off the bat you can see we're not running too many Pokemon. Expect to mulligan, but when you do get going, you're gonna get going pretty good. The only Pokemon that is here that really isn't part of the Arceus and Duraludon composition is going to be our Drapion, and this is just our answer to Mew. You're going to see this deck has a lot of, once again, variety in it, like my other decks, to combat all the decks of the meta. Big Parasol, for instance, combating Garatina's matchup. So you're going to have a lot of solid answers to a lot of the meta in this here deck build, like Lost City too. This will help you combat those single prizers like Charizard, which waits till the end game to come and bite you. So let's go ahead and get into the build and why we do what we do. Right off the bat, you're probably noticing, why are you only playing 2 Duraludon V instead of the 3? Uh, that's really honestly because we're not trying to see Duraludon V in our hand. Look at this man's retreat cost. It's just not very good. Now, if we do have to play him, we have Hard Coat to help cushion the blows a little bit if we get stuck with only a Duraludon in our opening hand. So Hard Coat is a good little protection that he's got for the ability, essentially taking more damage per hit, right? So another card we play in terms of softening blows for our Duraludons is going to be Hyper Potion. We have the healing of 120 damage. This is more so for the Duraludon VMAX. If he does manage to get hit once or twice, he can heal up a little bit and keep it moving. Another stadium we play as an answer to other hits as, again, where is it? There you are. Actually, wait. Yeah, there you are. Okay. Crystal Cave. Crystal Cave is a turn-by-turn healing for Dragon and Metal Pokemon. What are we running? Dragon and Metal Pokemon. So it's a perfect fit in for the deck. It helps us heal. It helps us keep our Duraludon moving forward, whereas otherwise we might have an issue staying in. So, Crystal Cave and Lost City, and of course our main stadium of the deck, and why we really do want to be playing this deck in the meta seriously, other than the fact that we're using basic energy, is Temple of Sinnoh. Temple of Sinnoh gonna help us here disrupt our opponent. So after we accelerate with our Arceus and get those energy on with probably DTE, right? We're gonna Temple of Sinnoh our opponent, and whatever Lugia engine they're running is gonna run into some trouble. I guarantee it. Uh, Things like Aurora Energy will become colorless, and decks will fall apart, all because of Temple of Sinnoh. So you're gonna be able to disrupt quite a bit with Temple of Sinnoh. So definitely played it too, and play Lost City and Crystal Cave at 1. I mean, there are people who like 2 Crystal Caves, people who like 2 Lost Cities, people who don't even like Temple of Sinnoh at all in this deck, which I mean, I can't see why you wouldn't play it in such a beautiful deck built completely for combating special energy accelerators. So, yeah, that's my explanation for the stadiums. But let's go ahead and get into the supporters of this deck. So, first things first, one of the items we're going to be running to help us accelerate supporters is Pokegear. So, Pokegear is like a great ball for supporters. So, go ahead and get in that deck of yours and go grab whatever supporter you need off the top 7 cards. Pick one of those supporters, reveal it, and put it into your hand. So, that's kind of what we want to do, is keep our deck moving, and supporters will help that happen. Um, all of our supporters except for the boss's order are draw power supporters. We have our professor, we have Marnie, who is going to be a little bit of disruption as well for our opponent. And then my favorite addition from Silver Tempest is Serena. Now, Serena, of course, being a boss is in her own right for V's, is additional draw power. So this deck has a lot of draw power supporters and can keep the deck moving and searching cards you need with cards like Evo, Quick Ball, and Ultra Ball. So you got cards that will help you pull cards out of the deck. You've got cards that will keep you pulling consistently once you get going. You've got cards to heal your Pokemon, and you've got cards to wall your opponent. Like, you've got an answer for pretty much everything here. Which, well, Colress, why are you down here? And speaking of Colress, let's go ahead and sort this right quick. Uh, so speaking of chorus, right? So this is basically in the deck if you don't want to lose your whole hand, right? Like, I know Marnie puts your hand on the bottom of the deck, and Professor's Research discards your hand, but Chorus is a nice little brand new here in Lost Origin edition that will allow you to keep your hand, choose 5 cards off the top of your deck, uh, and just take 2 of them and put them right in your hand. So any of those 5 cards, add 2. Yeah, you lose the 3 permanently, but I mean, hey, it's better than losing your hand in some cases. So that's the trade-off. Now everything's going to be bread and butter. So um, in terms of energy, we're running our 4 DTE, and this is only really for the start of the game. We want to run 4 DTE because we want to see it. We want to see our Arceus. We want to see our DTEs. We want to accelerate those energies uh, and get them going as fast as possible to our Duraludon. Now, um, I mean, basic energy, it's 4 to 6 ratio for fighting to metal. Um, you can play around with it. I wouldn't go any lower on your fighting because you do really need to see them in order to get your attack off. So 4 is a pretty good number, and 6 for metal is a pretty good number. Once again, you're only going to be using in the matchup here after your V star would be knocked out. You're only going to be using 2 Duraludons, so you really only need so much energy. So with a 1 fighting energy and 2 metal energy attack, you're gonna see that the ratio of 4 to 6 is pretty decent. Drapion, you're only gonna be using him in the Mew matchup. I would quick ball or ultra ball him away, or even research him away in any other matchup. Um, he fights for free anyway, so he's going to be like a mid-late game card you're going to be using. You don't want to see Drapion in your opening hand at all. So unless straight away they flood the field with a Battles VIP, no Mew decks do run that. So again, we're just gonna hold off on Drapion unless we got the Mew matchup. So or Rapid Strike even, he can hold his own there as well. Malamar does make appearances here and there, and Drapion will be a good answer for that. So that's pretty much our deck build here for what is a sleeper in this meta, simply because it combats Lugia so well. And Lugia has been refreshing and bringing back so many decks like Single Strike Urshifu, um, Gengar, which you saw in an earlier video, another edition of Duraludon, which I made a video again, um, Rapid Strike, all these really good decks of 2022, which were forgotten about once Mew came to prominence and started putting them all down, um, have now really resurfaced because of Lugia. And here we have a deck that combats Lugia and does it very well. So go ahead and pick it up, give it a go. It's I will be honest, it's not the cheapest deck, but it's not the worst thing to build either. I know Arceus have finally dropped over under 20. So your Duralax, oh god, Duraludon V Max are now in the new set Silver Tempest, and they're only going for like $2 each. So you can pick these up pretty easily. Your Duraludon V's, I'm sure they're not too expensive, but yeah, your Arceus will be the only thing that really run you a good buck, and even then, they're still falling under price. So that's it for the deck build. If you've learned something or want to put your own spin on it, or even have suggestions that you think would be worthy of airing, go ahead and comment them. Um, like, subscribe, and from the top rope, give me an elbow drop onto that bell. Give it a good ring. Let YouTube know this is a video worth watching and a channel worth seeing. Guys, have a great rest of your week. ACCG out.